Here it comes!
What is that? What's going on?
This is the end, Desmond. Scheduled for deletion!
What are you doing?
What is a man but the sum of his memories? We are the stories we live, the tales we tell ourselves.
Don't do this!
I'm saving you, idiot! Go! Go!
I write these lines with a steady hand and a light heart. We are in Acre now, Sophia and I, with the 5 Masyaf keys in our possession, and all the time in the world. Sophia is a seasoned traveler, and a fine companion to have so far from home. Tomorrow we will make our way to Masyaf, and once there, into Altair's library, to fulfill our father's forgotten dream. Forgive the shortness of this letter, dear sister. For it is late, and we are tired. Perhaps, with luck, the next words you hear from me will be in person. Con affetto, Ezio.
Alright, so Sequence 9 starts out rather abruptly, and I didn't want to interrupt anything. So, here it is. Assassin's Creed Revelations, last sequence. I think after this I'm going to go ahead and do the Desmond sequences. They're pretty good for some storyline. But this is pretty much the end of the game here. So here we go.
This way. Such a climb. È così bello qui. This is where your order began?
It began thousands of years ago, but here it was reborn.
By the man you mentioned, Altair?
Altair ibn La'ahad. He built us up, and set us free. He saw the folly of keeping a castle like this. It had become a symbol of arrogance, and a beacon for all our enemies.
And the mandate for menacing hoods? Was that his idea as well? You mentioned a creed before. What is it?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
That is rather cynical.
It would be if it were doctrine, but it is merely an observation of the nature of reality. To say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile, and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions, and that we must live with their consequences, whether glorious or tragic.
Do you regret your decision to live as an assassin for so long?
I do not remember making that decision. This life, it chose me. For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers, and fought for those who have suffered the pain of injustice. I do not
How rude, they cut it off.
The end of the road.
What do you hope to find behind that door?
Knowledge, above all else. Altair was a profound man and a prolific writer. He built this place as a repository for all his wisdom. He saw many things in his life, and learned many secrets. both troubling and strange. Knowledge that would drive lesser men to despair.
Does that worry you?
Sophia, you should know by now that I am not a lesser man.
What do you hope to find behind that door?
Knowledge, above all else. Altair was a profound man and a prolific writer. He built this place as a repository for all his wisdom. He saw many things in his life, and learned many secrets, both troubling and strange. Knowledge that would drive lesser men to despair.
Does that worry you?
Oh.
Sophia, you should know by now that I am not a lesser man.
Ezio. You had better come out of there alive.
I plan to. No books. No wisdom. Just you, fratello mio. Requiescat in pace, Altair.
I do like how they kind of tie the first two main characters together like that.
You have seen to my books.
Yes. Some we sent with the Polos. The rest will go with me to Alexandria.
Good. Very good.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Masyaf must be empty.
I see. This is not a library at all. It is a vault.
It must stay hidden, Darim. Far from eager hands. At least until it has passed on the secret it contains.
What secret?
Go, son. Go be with your family. And live well.
All that is good in me began with you, Father.
In much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
What does it tell you? What do you see?
Strange visions and messages.
of ones who came before, of their rise and their fall.
But what happens to us, Altair? To our family? What does the apple say?
Who were the ones who came before? What brought them here? How long ago?
Get rid of that thing!
This is my duty, Maria. If you are asked, say I sent the apple away. Tell them I sent it to Cyprus, or Cipango, or that I dropped it into the sea. Tell them anything to keep men away from this place. This apple must not be found. Not until the time is right.
Sit a moment and rest. That's a long fucking moment. I like how they did that.
Another artifact. No. You will stay here. I have seen enough for one life. Desmond?
He's talking to me?
I heard your name once before, Desmond. A long time ago. And now it lingers in my mind, like an image from an old dream. I do not know where you are, or by what means you can hear me. But I know you are listening. I have lived my life as best I could, not knowing its purpose, but drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon. And here at last, I discover a strange truth. That I am only a conduit for a message that eludes my understanding. Who are we, who have been so blessed, to share our stories like this? To speak across centuries? Maybe you will answer all the questions I have asked. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me? Ah, there you are. Good. A strange place, this nexus of time. I am not used to the calculations. That has always been Minerva's domain. I see you still have many questions. Who were we? What became of us? What do we desire of you? You will have your answers. Only listen, and I will tell you how. Both before the end and after, we sought to save the world. We built vaults within which to work, each dedicated to a different method of salvation. They were placed underground to avoid the war which raged above, and also as a precaution should we fail in our efforts. Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place. It was our duty, mine, Minerva's, and Juno's, to sort and sample all that was collected. We chose those solutions which held the most promise, and devoted ourselves to testing their merits. 6 we tried in succession, each more encouraging than the last, but none worked. And then the world ended. The earth shook for days, the fires burned for weeks, and when the ash had settled, less than 10,000 of your kind still lived, and far fewer of ours. But we carried on, together, to rebuild, to renew. Listen, you must go there, to the place where we labored and lost. Take my words. Pass them from your head into your hands. That is how you will open the way. But be warned, much still remains in flux, and I do not know how things will end, either in my time or yours.
Wait, look, his vitals are stabilizing. Something's happening. He's moving.
Desmond, can you hear me? Son?
I know what we need to do.
such a cool fucking story. And that's why I love this series, man. It's such an original, creative idea. The story is absolutely amazing. Alright. I'm gonna let these play out because sometimes they have like dialogue and other things. And I don't know if there is in this game or not. But after that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off and I'll start with the Desmond sequences. Game is like, it's kind of the continuation of this storyline, but it's really the point where maybe the story starts to taper off a little bit, but the gameplay and mechanics start to really get refined. I was not a fan of how many Cloak and Dagger missions this game had, especially in a row. It just kind of took away from things for me, because like I said, I'm not a big fan of that. I like fast-paced, keep the action going type games. Or at least really good storyline. Like I can play like Beyond Two Souls or something like that. That's the end of Subject 16. Game always has the longest fucking credits. Like, these credits are insanely long sometimes. Because they don't just put, like, the North American or US version of the credits. They put, like, all the credits for every translation they have. Yeah, dude, I really like this, though. The story is so cool. One big complaint about 4 is that it's really good gameplay. Like, it's an amazing game, but they don't really get too into the story as far as like the Assassins and Templars in the current, you know, contemporary times. Which honestly, for me, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens post Assassin's Creed 4 because I haven't played Unity, Syndicate, you know, so I don't know where they went with the story after that. I know some big things happen in 3, but after that, I don't know. And actually, 3 is probably the game I remember the least. I remember it's set in like the Civil War or some shit like that, or American Revolution. But I don't really remember anything else about it. I remember like one thing that happens at the end that's pretty big. There's only 5 Desmond sequences, and I don't know how long they are. But I'll do them. I'm gonna do them one at a time, just like I do the regular sequences. I know they're gonna be shorter, but I want to keep it kind of organized for people. I try to make my video posts as organized as I possibly can, because when you have 250 something posts on video games, it can be really hard to figure out what you're posting for people. So I try to do like one sequence at a time with these, or you know, sometimes I have to split it up and I'll tell people it's like the first half. Because if you don't, people can be like searching forever. I was wondering if I was going to be able to do this whole series before Odyssey came out, but it looks like I'll have plenty of time. Because I'm already 5 games deep. Assassin's Creed 3 is the 5th game. And then I think there's like 3 games after that for the main story. Which I'm going to be doing some of the other side games too. I'll probably do Rogue. I can't remember the name for the side game they made for Black Flag. But I'll probably play that one. I don't know if I have any interest in the Assassin's Creed like China or whatever they are. I don't even know. I know one's like set in Russia, one's set in China. But they're like these little small side games, I guess. I don't know if I have any interest in those or not. I'll have to look online and see what I think about them. It's actually going to be fun for me to play 3 again because, like I said, I don't really remember anything about it. I think I remember it being really frustrating in parts. It was like the last game where they really didn't have everything quite refined. But it is the game where they started to refine things. Like, things started to really get kind of nice. Especially with traversing forests. That was pretty cool. And naval warfare, like, that became such a cool thing with Black Flag. Which, as far far as gameplay goes, is probably my favorite game. Black Flag was amazing. So many cool things they did with that game. Dude, these credits are ridiculous. I like in the last game where you have to get all these, like, I don't even know what they're called. They're like fragments where you have to decipher this little puzzle and it gives you a piece of the story. And then you find out that, like, the whole concept of Adam and Eve came from the first race. And it's like the apple of Eden was the apple, and there was a scene of two people, Adam and Eve, from the first race that had this apple, and it kind of translated into the whole story of Adam and Eve in the Bible. I like smart storylines. Credits get done by tomorrow. Damn. They didn't have credits this long in Infinity War. it'll be interesting to see the graphics comparison, you know, from the first time playing the PS3 version of Assassin's Creed 3 to the Xbox 360. Because I bought 1 and 3 for my girlfriend's Xbox 360 because I didn't have them. So in order to play the whole storyline, you know, couldn't get them on PS4. And thankfully she still had the 360. Credits are going to be as long as the gameplay was. Yo, you could have listed every extra from the movie Troy, and the credits wouldn't have been this long. Damn it, man. Okay. Now that we got that done, I'm going to go ahead and pause, come back, and I'm going to start the Desmond sequences. So I'll be back in a minute.